Hello, everyone. Today is October 7th, which means there is exactly 2 more days in New York State to register to vote. And I hope everybody's getting registered. I hope you're going out there and letting your voice be heard. And I'm not a huge fan of politics. I'm not into politics. Politics is not my thing. But what I will say is, let me just give you an example of my situation. A person that's not into politics just goes with the flow. Politics is not my thing. I don't care for it. But it's like when I see people that I admire and, people that we look up to and things like that, when we see these people getting real serious and determined and adamant about voting, then that's how you know, like, it's serious. We need to do this. We need to make sure we vote. So, I'm a huge fan of the Fat Joe's podcast. I love Fat Joe's podcast. I watch like every episode. It's very informative. It's very knowledgeable. I'm actually learning things by watching this podcast. And what I love most about this podcast is, like it's about us. It's our culture. 100% our culture. It's very entertaining. I love it. Um, Fat Joe's from the Bronx, and he's just keeping it real and raw throughout the whole show. He has all types of guests on the show. It's awesome, and I feel like the way they break it down and explain things to us, we get it. You know what I mean? So I really love this podcast. I always watch it, and like I said, I'm learning things by watching the podcast. But long story short, Fat Joe had an interview with this guy named Crazy Legs. And at first I'm like, who's this? But let me watch it. So I start watching the podcast, and then, they're talking. Crazy Legs is a Puerto Rican guy from the Bronx. And, they're having a conversation about voting, about the culture, about hip hop, and all of this awesome stuff. So when the guy started talking about how when the hurricane happened in Puerto Rico, the Hurricane Maria, when a hurricane happened, people nobody could get over there basically. Like, y'all gotta watch the interview, and I'll probably tag the links in my bio. But basically, nobody could get over there for the hurricane in Puerto Rico, right? Like, no help, no resources, nothing. And Puerto Rico is a part of the US. But yeah, no help, no aid, nothing. This guy, Crazy Legs, used his resources. He's like a beatbox dancer from like the 70s and the 80s and such like that. But Crazy Legs used his resources to get help to his people. Like, FEMA, all of the world help, they're saying that they can't get there. He manages to get there. And then not only does he get there, he's bringing the right resources. But as he's there, he said once he got to his house, his property, Homeland Security was at his house. So, he's talking to them like, what you doing here, things like that. And they're telling him, oh, we're like asset something, and we're like, they basically was people dying, like people that was there for hundreds and hundreds of years, like generations and generations of years. People died, passed away, and people are just coming there to look to see what they can grab. Property. They're not helping the people. They're charging taxes for the people that are trying to come in and help just so they can get the piece of. It's horrible. It's really horrible. And these are the people that we have running our country, and these are the kind of people that we have that's running the world. And it's really disgusting the way these people think, like their mindset, like it's just corrupt and crooked. So you know, just seeing that and hearing that, and just how passionate that they were about voting made me say, yeah, you know what, I'm voting. You know, it's last minute and everything, but I'm gonna make sure. Oh, I'm gonna make sure I'm registered to vote, and I will be voting. And I'll talk to you guys later.